Hi, friend. Welcome back to the YouTube channel for the Renaissance English History Podcast. I am your host, Heather, and I have been podcasting on Tudor England since 2009, which makes my show the OG original Tudor History Podcast. This channel is where I put all of my episodes from all of my shows, as well as tons of extra videos like this one right here today. Elizabethan conspiracy theories and Tudor conspiracy theories. Today, we're talking about whether or not Elizabeth had secret children, and maybe whether one of them was Shakespeare. So I geek out on conspiracy theories. I love reading a good conspiracy theory and thinking about it and evaluating it. And there are a lot of Tudor conspiracy theories. And so I decided to make a little mini series. Once a week, I'm going to break down one of these conspiracy theories about the Tudors and the Elizabethans. I just said the word conspiracy theories like 6 times in a row, and now it sounds really weird in my head. You know that when you say a word too often and it starts to sound weird, did I say that right? So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, if you would like to see more Tudor history in your YouTube feed, and of course you do because you're watching this already, go ahead and hit subscribe so you never miss a video that I put out. All right. What if I told you that Queen Elizabeth I, history's virgin queen, was secretly a mother, that she had not just one, but multiple secret children hidden away in noble families, and that one of them was, drumroll, Francis Bacon? You know, this theory's been floating around for centuries and it just won't die. The idea that Elizabeth I secretly had children, particularly that she gave birth to Francis Bacon, is one of the wilder Tudor conspiracy theories. And like any good conspiracy theory, it takes a few historical facts, twists them beyond recognition, and somehow even drags Shakespeare into the mess. So today, let's break it down. Where did the theory come from? Why is it absolutely redonkulous? And more importantly, who actually believes it? Like many bizarre theories, this one can be traced back to a group who call themselves the Baconians. Yes, that's an actual term. They're the ones who believe that Sir Francis Bacon, not William Shakespeare, wrote all of Shakespeare's works. So Baconians, I have to say, as we're moving along talking about this, every time I say Baconians, it reminds me, it makes me think of a group of very proper Etonians or something, very proper young men getting to get together to discuss the merits of bacon and comparing turkey bacon to other bacons and seasoning on bacon. So that's just what I imagine in my head when I say the word Baconians. They get together in this old hall and it's all very formal and they're wearing little bow ties. They're like, oh, yes, let's discuss the bacon. That's what goes on in my head when I say the word Baconian. So some Baconians took it a step further. If Bacon was so brilliant, then surely he wasn't just the son of a minor noble. Surely his genius must come from somewhere royal, like Queen Elizabeth I. The theory goes that Elizabeth and Robert Dudley had a secret child. This child was Francis Bacon. But to keep the whole Virgin Queen act, he was spirited away and raised in secret by Sir Nicholas Bacon and his wife. And that's just the start. Some versions of this theory claim that Elizabeth had multiple secret children. One particularly unhinged variant says that Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford, was also her son, allegedly conceived when she was 14 and seduced by Thomas Seymour. So, it gets worse. There's an even more outlandish version of the theory that claims that Oxford had an incestuous relationship with Elizabeth, producing Henry Wriothesley, the Earl of Southampton. At this point, this theory has completely eaten itself, folding in on its own nonsense like some kind of a Renaissance soap opera. The bottom line is, every version of this theory assumes that Elizabeth wasn't just secretly a mother, she was apparently a full-time medieval baby factory, popping out hidden children across the nobility while also ruling a kingdom and maintaining her reputation as the Virgin Queen. Not a small feat. So who actually believes this? First, you have the conspiracy theorists, the ones who believe that history is just one big cover-up and the real story is always lurking beneath the surface. Then you have the anti-Stratfordians, the people who refuse to believe that Shakespeare, a middle-class guy from Stratford, actually wrote Shakespeare's plays. They latch onto Bacon, Oxford, or anyone else with noble blood as the real author because apparently only aristocrats were capable of writing great literature. Then, of course, there are the people who just love a good royal scandal and think that Elizabeth being a secret mother makes history all the juicier. And finally, there's the Shakespeare with Someone Else Club, which never stops coming up with alternative authors for his plays. We're talking Mary Queen of Scots. Because why not? James VI first, because he, of course, had time to write Hamlet in between ruling two countries. And even Cardinal Wolsey, who, let's just remind everybody, died in 1530, like decades before Shakespeare's career even started. But why not? So is there any evidence for the theory? The big reveal is no. The so-called evidence comes from things like the Baconian ciphers, codes supposedly hidden in Shakespeare's works that reveal Francis Bacon was Elizabeth's son. You know, the kind of thing that requires reading between the lines so hard that you forget there are actual lines. No contemporary sources mention Elizabeth having children. No letters, no legal documents, no financial records, no whispers from ambassadors, nothing. And as for the theory about an elaborate Tudor cover-up, you'd think there'd be at least one credible shred of historical proof. But no. That's the thing about conspiracy theories for me, why I don't buy them, because they require such a high level of competency and secrecy. So let's talk about evidence against the theory. The whole thing is completely ridiculous. Let's break it down why. First, Elizabeth's entire reputation was built around being the Virgin Queen. She wasn't just unmarried, she made a whole political identity out of it. She spoke constantly about being wedded to her country, even in private. She insisted that she had never married or had children. The idea that she secretly had a child or multiple children would have destroyed her carefully crafted image. And yet, not a single shred of evidence suggests that this was ever a concern for her. I mean, you could say, well, maybe she protested too much. And then that takes us to the logistics problem. Where exactly was she hiding all of these pregnancies? Have you seen the dresses? They were quite tight around the bodice. She was constantly surrounded by people, ladies in waitings, advisors, ambassadors, foreign visitors. Pregnancy isn't something you can hide when you're in a royal court filled with gossip and spies. Henry's wives couldn't sneeze without someone reporting on it. If Elizabeth had ever been pregnant, someone would have noticed. I know there's some stuff where people say, like, well, she was away and she was sick during some certain times that were, maybe like 9 months after having seen this person or that person. The amount of cover up that would require, I just don't buy it. I mean, you might buy it, and that's cool. You can do that. I'm not buying it. And speaking of gossip, there wasn't any. The Tudors thrived on rumors and scandals. Ambassadors reported on everything from Elizabeth's appearance, I can talk, to her flirtations with Robert Dudley. If there had been a secret child, foreign courts would have known about it and we'd have letters about it, but we don't. Then there's the biggest problem of all with this theory. Francis Bacon already had parents. We know exactly who they were, Sir Nicholas Bacon and Anne Cook Bacon. There's no record of him being adopted or mysteriously appearing in the household. He wasn't found in a basket floating down the Thames. He was simply their son, and that was that. So I think that this theory is pretty much absurd on just about every level. The idea that Elizabeth had multiple secret sons, one of them just magically happened to be Shakespeare. I don't know. That's like Melrose Place level stuff. Do you guys remember Melrose Place? I loved Melrose Place. I'm aging myself. It's a really good show. Well, it was a really bad show, but it was also a really good show. Anyway, so why do these theories persist? First, people love a mystery, and if they can twist history into something more dramatic, they will. The idea that there are secret bloodlines, hidden heirs, cover-ups, it's just too tempting for some people to resist. Then there's the anti-Stratfordians, the people who have spent centuries trying to discredit Shakespeare's authorship. They're so dedicated to making him someone else that they'll latch on to any theory, no matter how redonkulous, if it helps their case. Because if Shakespeare was secretly a Tudor prince, then of course it means he was brilliant because, like, apparently commoners can't be talented writers. Then there's the fact that modern audiences are primed for conspiracy theories. Like, there's the internet, there's YouTube, where we are right now. People around here love that stuff, and I love it too, I have to say. I don't believe it, but I do love it. People love, like, the Dan Brown, that's who it was, right? Dan Brown, the Da Vinci Code, all that kind of stuff, like hidden messages, secret codes. The idea that official history is wrong, But at the core of this, it's not even really about Elizabeth, it's about Shakespeare. The goal is to uncover some secret Tudor scandal to make Shakespeare into someone more acceptable, someone noble, someone rich, because people struggle with the idea that like a middle-class guy from Stratford without a great education could have written some of the greatest works in the English language. So let's sum it up. Did Elizabeth have a secret love child with Robert Dudley? No. Did she have multiple secret children, including one who was Shakespeare? Also no. But did she have to deal with more wild rumors than most monarchs? Yes. And that's just one of the many ridiculous Tudor conspiracy theories out there. What is your favorite? Let me know. I would love to know what your favorite Tudor Elizabethan conspiracy theory is, because I want to start covering them more because I think they're fun because I love them. So let me know in the comments which your favorite one is, and maybe we'll do the next video on that. All right. So if you made it to this point in the video and you enjoyed it, I sure would appreciate a press of that like button. It helps to fuel the algorithm, feed the algorithm, fuel it, feed it, and get our content to more people. I also hope I earned your subscription to my channel where I put out content like this on the regular. If you want to keep binge watching Tudor content, here's a video on Henry VIII's illegitimate children. That might be fun. Or here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, you are deeply loved. I am so glad I shared the planet with you. I will be back very soon. In the meantime, don't forget to drink your water. All right, friend, have an amazing day. Bye-bye.